There are an estimated 10,000 blind people who currently use guide dogs in the US, about 2% of blind people. It costs $40,000 to produce a single guide dog team, from the puppy's birth to the graduation, at no cost to the blind person. Each year, from Maine to North Carolina, there are more than 500 puppies of varying ages cared for by puppy raisers for Guiding Eyes for the Blind. These cute puppies are being readied for an important career. They are the pick of the litter, among the most well-bred dogs in the country, but you're not going to see them at any dog show. These pups will be trained as guide dogs. Meet Cheryl Tomeno. With minimal sight since birth, she used a cane to get around, but by her freshman year of college, she lost all of her residual vision, and with it, her mobility. So she applied for her first guide dog, Jade.
My father used to say, "This is my daughter, Cheryl, and this is her dog, Jade, and it's her wheels." When you are matched up with that dog, first time, second time, third time, it's just fantastic. But the very first time, you just feel, oh, I just get goosebumps when I think about it. You feel so alive and so free, and you just hug that dog, and you think, this dog is going to be special to me. The day you get your dog, it's electric.
Her college days long behind her, Cheryl is married with a family. She now uses a black lab, Dean, her third guide dog.
And I tell you something, a lot of times I feel more safe with him than I do with a lot of people guiding me. Don't tell anybody that. But it's the truth.
Guide dogs aren't just about convenience, they are also lifesavers.
The dog could be saving your life, basically, or keeping you safe, at least, hundreds of times a day, and you're not aware of it.
Cheryl was inside a school when she realized Dean saved her.
We were walking down the hall to go to our next class, and there were stairs there. Dean, he just stopped very suddenly. And I heard no sounds, nothing was happening. Put my foot out, felt the stair, and I knew, there was a flight of steps.
Dogs go through a lot of training to get to that point. It all starts with selective breeding at the Guiding Eyes Canine Development Center in Paterson, New York. Only dogs with the best temperament and health are considered for breeding.
We produce about 3 puppies for every puppy that is utilized. And that's one of the things we want to keep continuing to hone in on, is to have as strong a breeding stock as possible.
The puppies are born and socialization begins. They are introduced to the real world, eased into all the new sights and sounds, and of course, new smells of different environments where they will one day lead their blind partners. Dozens of dedicated volunteers are involved in the early socialization program.
So soft. Yeah. Yes.
The pups are handled, played with, and evaluated. They are embedded with computer chips to identify them. And volunteers take young puppies home for a few days at a time to better acquaint them with actual home environments. At only a few weeks old, the puppies go through tests like these.
Step back, startle, ears are forward now, stretching in.
Tests that determine which dogs demonstrate the unique qualities they'll need to guide. Qualities like their confidence level in dealing with new or stressful situations.
And this test takes lesser stressors and add more stressors, and we want to see the puppies get more comfortable, more relaxed, or stay the same. If they start to build worry or they start to shut down, we'll quit the test. What we want to see is the dogs get better, because puppies tend to be what they are, and if they have the genetics to do it, then socialization is the other 70% of it that really can influence if genetically they have the quality. And that's really what we're trying to determine, nature versus nurture.
Pups that do not pass become family pets. The rest move on to the next and most important phase. The 8-week-old puppy is placed with a puppy raiser. These puppy raisers train the dogs on the basics over the next 14 to 18 months. It takes a certain dedication and commitment to volunteer to raise a puppy, a commitment that Janet Kagan believes can also teach her children about responsibility.
My family loves animals. I was raised with animals, and we try and give our children that experience because it does bring a lot of joy and love and responsibility into your child's life. And in addition to that, it also seemed like something that we could do that would help someone. It's an act, it's a working charity.
Laura Gleason has a more personal connection to the dogs she raises. Her late husband, Paul, had received a guide dog from Guiding Eyes.
Unfortunately, my husband, who had juvenile diabetes, died in '82 before my daughter was born, so that when Melissa reached high school age, I thought it would be good to raise a puppy for Guiding Eyes to understand who her father was and what he was about, and now I can't stop raising puppies.
And Ellen Joseph, who has raised dogs for years, just does it for the rewarding experience.
It's a wonderful organization from the standpoint of the puppy raiser group. It's a very supportive group. I've met really lovely people there. It's been a very wonderful experience for me. I have really enjoyed it, and I guess that's why I keep doing it, because I don't want to lose that connection.
These raisers are on the job 7 days a week, caring for the pup, teaching house manners, and most importantly, socializing the pup. Raisers also attend classes on how to handle the dog.
Now I'm going to check out her ears.
Jennifer Lund teaches one of the classes on puppy body handling.
The purpose of our puppy exam is to get our puppy used to being handled everywhere, every part of her body, in every way possible, so that she can be groomed and cleaned and cared for by a vet, and have her ears cleaned and her teeth taken care of and her nails clipped. And I'm just going to start with some gentle stroking. I'm going to talk to her the whole time and tell her what a good girl she is. And I'm just going to start by just going over kind of every inch of the puppy's body. Right now I'm being real gentle, but sometimes when she's real used to this, I'm also going to start to kind of handle her in a slightly rougher way, because a 2-year-old does not handle a puppy in this gentle fashion.
Sometimes people will come right up to me and to Dean and me, and they pet him. And they don't just pet him on the head and go on walking, they pet him. You want a dog that's going to be more tolerant because you are out in the general public all the time.
The classes also include basic handling and obedience training, such as how to teach the puppy to sit, to lie down,
she didn't go. Right here I've got her under the elbow.
or to get the dog to respond to its name.
We're trying to get Miss Panache to become responsive to her name, so we're playing a little game with her. Okay, so Janet, why don't you come up to Panache and show her your fun, exciting toy?
Good girl! Good girl!
And then she gets praised and played with for coming.
Nestor's raisers are also learning a lot from the raising experience.
Raising Nestor's been a really hard job, but it's been really fun too. I always thought when we got Nestor it was going to be really easy, like to let him go, like Lauren said, and just let him go to the bathroom. But it's like you have to train them really well to do that. You have to watch him almost every second of the day. You can't just let him have his bone, because you think he might have his bone, he might be chewing on his shoes.
Despite the work, the experience is addictive.
Panache is the second puppy that we're raising for Guiding Eyes.
Joan is my 7th dog and my 5th shepherd.
Bria's my 4th puppy that I've raised for Guiding Eyes, that I raised her mom, Leanne.
Introducing the pup to new environments, situations, and people is instrumental in ensuring success as a guide dog.
One of the things that we try to do as raisers is to try and expose the puppies to as many situations as possible, but yet without overwhelming them or frightening them. So what we do with Panache at this point in her young life, she goes with me every day to walk the children to school.
Yeah, we take her into most places we go.
We're allowed to go into the hardware store. Because it's a dog-friendly town, we'll very often come over and want to pet him, so he gets to meet a lot of people, including kids. Kids with bicycles will come by, kids on skateboards will come by.
Some puppy classes are held in places where pups can gain new experiences in new environments. This class is at an animal hospital, and the raisers took their dogs through an obstacle course of new objects and strange sounds.
So then what you can do is you can leave, make her sit and wait before you go through that door. Let her kind of sniff that hose, because it's different than a vacuum cleaner at home. And then she'll pop it on and take it off, and then kind of get her through. When you get past the hot dogs, then you've got an exam room to make them sit, so that because this is harder than sitting and waiting at home.
Before you know it, the pup is ready to move on. It's time to leave the puppy raiser and return to Guiding Eyes, where it will be tested to see if it has what it takes to enter the rigorous training program. Over the years, Ellen Joseph has watched several puppies go through the In for Training test.
You put 18 or 20 months into this dog, and in a blink of an eye, it's all over. And it's just an excruciatingly anxious time.
Tammy Farrell is getting ready to give up Vaughn.
Vaughn is leaving on Friday. I've been keeping myself so busy so I don't have to think about it. But come Friday, when I have to bring him to that to the kennel, it's going to be a really hard experience. And I mean, I don't want him to be released from the program because I think he's going to make a wonderful companion for somebody. But if he's released, I'll take him in a flash. When I initially entered into this, I didn't think I'd get so emotionally attached. But here we are, almost D-Day, and my buddy of 19 months is leaving. But it's been great.
Twice a month, dogs go in for the In for Training test, known as the IFT. Russ Post has administered this test countless times.
It's the preliminary test that all dogs will go through to determine whether or not they actually begin training. We do a series of things with them that tend to put a little bit of pressure on the dog.
The dogs leave the familiar contact of their raisers, the familiar sights and sounds of their raisers' homes. The IFT tests how well the dogs cope with stress, whether it be the startling sound of a gunshot, having new people walk them through the course, or the infamous umbrella test.
Now that was a good one. His ears just got soft, closed his eyes, blinked, came right up.
The umbrella test would scare the fur off of most dogs, but these dogs are expected to be calm. The best reaction is a mild startle. Here, the dogs are given 3 chances, and the evaluators look for signs of improvement.
And what we're looking for in all of these things as we pile one little bit of stress-inducing situation onto another is, does the dog accommodate that and learn and gain confidence from the fact that they haven't been harmed by all of this? Or are they getting progressively less comfortable and confident? They come out smiling, even though they got an F on sitting down. They're still they're still going to go into guide dog training. So.
See, that was a real, ooh, scared. But she came back up. Ducked her head, lowered her tail. She's still got a low tail set, so she's like sniffing other things. A combination of the smell and she's not real sure about it. Oh, she's coming back. Oh, she didn't bark that time. She just got scared. A little sniffing there, she dropped her head. A little avoidance. She backed up and she's willing to come check it out. She's willing to try. She's willing to keep coming back, and that's what we need. And the real test is when he brings it back into the covered carport and to see whether they'll come out or whether they'll just avoid him completely. If they avoid him completely, then they get released because they can't handle the pressure. She's laying, trying to get away from it too. She's like saying, I'm out of here. She's the one, okay, I can come up. Here's my curly ears. Oh, she's a little silly, but she's willing. And she's trusting. She comes up and says, all right, you're okay. So that's good. That's a really good response.
So 25% will be dropped at the In for Training test, but some are going to get dropped in training. Either they got to go through their medical checks now, and there could be dogs who are very picky.
Meet Judy's raiser, Arlene Novich. She's waiting for Judy's IFT to begin.
I've been through this before, and it doesn't really get much easier.
The test can be compromised if the dog knows its raiser is nearby, so raisers have to watch from a distance. The couple who raised Isis have traveled from Virginia to watch her IFT.
We're kind of used to giving them up, but not really, because you get another little fuzzy bundle back when you give one of them away. So. But it's still hard. It takes a box of Kleenex to do it. She's our 5th dog, and they've all made it.
Both Judy and Isis will be tested today.
I'm just got my fingers crossed.
Now, I was very nervous, but very excited. Totally, I can't wait to see her. I know she's going to do it.
But IFTs often have surprises.
No, she didn't. She's going to look for another career. Oh, she's saying, yeah. She don't know yet. She made it. She
Oh, you guys don't know. Oh, shoot. Hey.
Oh, that private tutoring.
Oh, way to go, puppy.
So I had such mixed emotions bringing her up because I knew she was going to make it, and then to be so surprised that she didn't.
Dogs that don't pass the IFT find other important careers. Released dogs may become bomb or arson dogs, therapy dogs, or just wonderful family pets. The IFT marks the end of the puppy raiser's work, but the dog's career is just beginning.
You're invited back to graduation as a puppy raiser, and when you meet that person and that guy says, "Thank you so much for loving this dog enough to give it up to me," and it just, I mean, just talking about it gives me goosebumps. And you're just so proud of that dog. It's a working, functional dog that's going to walk down Manhattan and safely take this person somewhere. It's amazing.
In the end, giving up the dog is always hard, but Cheryl is a reminder of the true rewards of puppy raising.
As a raiser, you're not keeping the dog. You're giving the dog back to Guiding Eyes to be trained to go with somebody like me. It's like giving someone something all wrapped up in a puppy coat instead of in a bow.